What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to talk about another person that has an opinion on Joe Judge. And maybe not so much an opinion. This person actually has more of a bit of advice for the rookie head coach of the New York Giants. And that would be legendary Hall of Fame head coach and two-time Super Bowl winning head coach of the New York Giants, Bill Parcells. And his advice to Joe Judge is simple. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody or not. Don't try to be Bill Parcells. Don't try to be Nick Saban. Don't try to be Bill Belichick. Just be your own man. Be your head coach. Be the head coach, but also be your own person. Now, Joe Judge has not wavered in anything that he has done. No matter all the criticism he's received, he hasn't wavered at all. He hasn't given up the ghost. He's just doing exactly what he set out to do. And Bill Parcells likes a lot of what he's implemented into training camp, including taking the names off the players' jerseys. Bill Parcells says you want to identify the players as to what they're doing on the field, not by their numbers. So he really likes that practice of getting the names off the back of the jerseys. Bill Parcells did something similar in Dallas where he removed the star off of the helmets for all the rookies and says you got to earn the star. Bill Parcells is another guy that had no problem making his players work and practice. He said that he had every position run 300-yard shuttles. They had to do 300-yard shuttles in Dallas, and every single position had a certain amount of time that they had to do it in. He said he had one lineman that couldn't complete one of them, and he said if that guy doesn't give a damn, why should I put him on waivers the next day? Bill Parcells is always one of those guys that said, I don't want guys that complain. I want guys that want to be Giants. And that's what always he said. I don't want guys that want to be traded. I want guys that want to be Giants. If you don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. Give me somebody that wants to be a Giant. And that's the way Bill Parcells always did his stuff. Now, I know this is a new day and age. I know players aren't built the way they used to be. I know the media is not. It's a different day and age. I get that. But at the same time, man, football is football. And I think old school practices are good. These young players are buying into this stuff. And you want guys that are going to work hard for you. You know what I mean? Bill Parcells did a lot of this stuff in Dallas, and Bill Parcells was very successful with it. You want guys that are going to work extremely hard. But Bill Parcells obviously doesn't have, any problems with what Joe Judge is doing, but also says you can't just be the head coach. Also, another thing Bill Parcells said is that Joe Judge has a very unenviable task here. When Bill Parcells was coaching the Giants, he had 50 padded practices before the first regular season game. Well, these Giants have 14 padded practices before the start of the regular season. So obviously it's much different. They have no preseason games. They can't get as many practices in there. They didn't have mini camps. They didn't have OTAs. They didn't have rookie camp. They didn't have any of this stuff. Joe Judge has no film. He's got no head coaching experience. So as Bill Parcells said, this is a very difficult thing for any first-year head coach. What Joe Judge does have going for him is a guy like Jason Garrett, who's been there, done that. And Bill Parcells says that his expertise or, his experience is going to be invaluable to Joe Judge because he's been there and done it. And it certainly does help to have great offensive coordinators or, experienced offensive coordinators, experienced defensive coordinator. And he's got a really good coaching group around him. So obviously that is going to help him. But again, Bill Parcells pretty much just saying, be yourself, Mr. Judge. Don't go out there and try to do too much. But the fact that Bill Parcells is on board with this speaks very highly of the first-year head coach. And again, Bill Parcells is a guy, and I've used Bill Parcells in both of the videos I talked about, the Manny Olacho and Shannon Sharp criticizing Joe Judge. I've talked about how Bill Parcells was very tough on his players, and players really didn't like what he did, but they played hard for him. When you're a head coach, it isn't your job to be your player's friend. Now it's good to listen to, like Tom Coughlin soften up. It's good to hear their problems. It's good to be there for them. You know what I mean? Don't just completely shut them out. You do want to be human, but at the same time, you don't want to be like, oh, you don't want to run the lap. Oh, that's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Come over here. Let me pat you on the head and baby you. You don't want a head coach like that either. You want these guys to be tough, man. You want the Giants to toughen up, man. This is a team that's won 12 games in the last 3 years. Or something's got to change. So it's good. The last couple of times we came in here, we brought in players coaches, and we saw how lazy these guys were. Like I said, falling asleep in meetings and not showing up for practices and not practicing hard. And that type of stuff translates to the field. So if these guys are practicing hard, which is what Joe Judge is trying to implement by making them run laps, and it's not like every time they drop a pass, you got to run. It's nothing like that. It's if you're not, doing certain things correctly. It's not, if you drop the pass, you're going to run a lap. It's not a lap for everything that they do wrong. You know what I mean? So some guys are blowing this way out of proportion, but I like what Bill Parcells said. He says, just be yourself. And Bill Parcells certainly has no issue with what Joe Judge is doing. This is coming from a Hall of Fame head coach who won 2 Super Bowls. If Joe Judge is anything like the guys that were here when we were winning these Super Bowls, Belichick and Parcells. I mean, between them, they got 8 Super Bowl champions as head coach. Bill Parcells has 8, or I'm sorry, Bill Belichick has 8 as a defensive coordinator and a head coach. I think that pretty much speaks very highly of what Joe Judge can bring to the New York Giants. So that's really all I got for this video. Bill Parcells says just be yourself, but he's got no issue with what Joe Judge is doing in training camp. Until next time, guys, it's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I'm gone. Peace!